Nested Vector Oscillator from THC out of Stockholm, Human Comparator. Yoon. What's his last name?
Yoon Nenson.
Yeah.
If you remember back to early last year, I think it was like last March or something that we put those out. I talked to Yoon, and it was a fun chat, and we talked a lot about, hopefully, fingers crossed, the full size 100 series modules that Buchla is going to be putting out that are based on Yoon's work, but he also was showing me these things that he'd been working on. He just got the PCBs for the NVO, and so he soldered them up, and he brought it over, and we plugged it in, and it worked for like 12 seconds, and then it died.
Oh boy.
On us. So I've seen this before, but not in this very pretty, glorious fashion.
Yeah,
makes a good looking module.
Let's take a look at the panel. So shameless plug, if you're a Patreon subscriber, you can see the video of this when the episode comes out. Otherwise, you can wait a couple of months and we release these other videos later. But the panel is classic Ewan. I mean, all of his modules are beautiful in their own right. Some of them are just like art. That one with the cash register key buttons,
Yeah.
But this has a CV input at the top for keyboard, four tiny jacks outputs for each of the oscillators, A, B, C, and D, because it's a 4 oscillator module. Then a row of switches that we'll explain in a bit. A bunch of CV inputs that alternate black and gray, which is very nice. And then 4 joysticks. Now,
also, let's not forget this little grid of the wave shapes.
That's right. How could I forget the wave? Yeah. At the top there, so each oscillator can do one of 3 wave shapes: a ramp, a square, or sine. And we'll explore those in a minute. But you select those with the switches there that have a nice little crunch to them.
So a 3-way switch. So yeah.
And then there are the 4 joysticks, which are a style where they're really loose. They hold their position. They don't snap back to the middle, but they are, I don't want to say loose. That implies something else. They have a lot of flexible travel. They're free traveling joysticks. If you've used an IntelliGel planer, the joystick in that has that nice stiff thing where it holds, you've kind of find some resistance when you move the joystick. These move much more freely. And I think that's because of how you use them, as you're shaping as we're going to explore in a minute, the FM and pitch and all of that stuff. So they move really, really quick and easy. A lot different from the Colossus joysticks, which are like you're going to use it to control a sniper rifle in that movie, The Jackal. Remember that?
Yeah. Didn't Jack Black get
Yeah, his arm gets blown off.
Yeah,
that's what
I remember.
Because the joystick wasn't precise enough. So that's if he'd used the nested vector oscillator to control that sniper rifle, Jack Black would have just been destroyed because these are really loose. But if you use the Colossus joysticks, then it would have been But there are different types of joysticks out there that all have different names. These actually remind me a lot of the joystick on the Synthi, like the AKS or the VCS3. Or on the Syntrex, the Erica Synths. Syntrex is kind of what they remind me of. There's also a Depfer module that has the same. But anyway, joysticks. And they're tall, and they have a plastic cap, and they're really easy to use.
So I guess, and then also to, talk about, in essence, what it does. So basically, it's going to control pitch from, is that the Y-axis?
Let's find out. Here, I'm going to turn it up. No, it's the X-axis.
X-axis. So left to right.
Minus to plus.
Minus to plus is going to change the pitch of that single oscillator. And then kind of from your center zone, if you go down, it's going to... I guess I'm going to say it's probably going to add FM. It's going to start FMing. It's going to add C's oscillator pitch into, or FM, A's pitch.
Let me put that slightly more eloquently.
Thank you. Please do.
Each of the 4 joysticks on the y-axis has a letter corresponding to the other oscillators. So there's A, B, C, D oscillators. Oscillator A goes B at the top to C at the bottom, and then B is A at the top and D at the bottom. C is A at the top and D at the bottom, and D is B at the top, C at the bottom. So they're like an X on the matrix.
Okay.
Thus the vector aspect of it, because you can think of a vector as you would map it on a Cartesian grid. So use your imagination on that one, Kyle. I'll show you a picture later. When you push the joystick up the y-axis to B, then on oscillator A, then the oscillator in B will FM oscillator A as you move the joystick. So you get an amount of FM as you push up to B, and then meaning the amount of like a variable amount of impact.
Yeah, the modulation index.
Yes, the modulation index.
Yeah.
And then the oscillator B is you kind of move that guy around, changing pitch and
then
left
its
to right.
Influence from other oscillators.
Right. If you only go left and right and you kept it at exactly 0 on the y-axis, then you would have just pitch
clean
FMing. Yeah. But now it's going to respond as you go up and down and around to FMing from oscillators A and oscillator D. So you're modulating oscillator A with B, but then you can modulate oscillator B with A. And kind of like the 2 oscillators in the 258, where they can, in the 258E cross mod.
Yeah. But it's all done by joysticks.
Yes.
It reminds me of I had the Lyra 8 for a while, and those kind of all would modulate. They kind of cascade into one another with all their modulation. And
that's a very apt comparison, actually, because I had a Lyra 8 also. This, I think, is way easier to use and understand. And if we should have hooked this up to an oscilloscope, because you can see the amount, basically the voltages, and not really the voltage, but you get what I mean. The amount of modulation as you go with the joystick, so you can see the range. But I forgot to do that. So maybe I'll do that and then post it in the show notes to give you the range from D to A, for example, in oscillator C.
So let's turn this on. Let's
just... with the 3 different wave shapes and cross-modding of cross-modding, because it's it's like a matrix of modulation.
Yeah.
You can do some pretty outrageous stuff. And much like the Lyra 8, it's impossible to get the same sound
again.
twice. Yeah.
Well, that's what kind of blows my mind is like, there's no, when you think of an oscillator with like a knob, you're going to set that for its pitch, you're just going to set it at like some sort of maybe bass pitch, and then you'd have some other input that you're going to modulate it with. There's no knob. The knob is the joystick. So, finding this very specific pitch on here and wanting to get back to there is futile.
It presents a challenge, definitely. And I was thinking...
but it's not for that. I mean, it's like a chaos agent of like...
But because of the resolution of the joystick, you can... And we'll do that. And like, why people are thinking, why are they talking about what you can do? Is just turn the volume up. But you can find and we'll do that. But you can find and match the pitch between all 4 of them and keep them kind of in tune with each other. Like when you're using the keyboard input. It's funny. Like, why are we even? We didn't need to hook it up. We could have just talked about the whole thing the whole time. But it is, And I was joking with another friend that if this were a 200E module, then when you load the preset, the joysticks would all snap back.
Motorized.
Because can you imagine if this had preset control? You could barely touch the joystick and the whole thing is it would be. This is one where I don't think, man, I sure do wish it had CV control. The only thing I guess I'd want is the position of the switches.
Yeah.
All right, so let's give this a listen.
All right, let's just do A and B. So maybe we'll kind
And
of.
these are ramp waves or sawtooth.
I think we got those split. It's like an octave apart.
Let me take out the keyboard here.
Oh,
Oh, I guess I don't
Doesn't
need
do
to.
anything.
Yeah.
there you go.
But it's not too bad, right? You know.
So we're kind of only. You're staying pretty steady in the middle, only going left to right. So you're not really adding any modulation.
Yeah, so let me go up on. So I'm going to use B to modulate A.
Well, now you're allowing A to modulate.
Yeah,
A.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I had that backwards. A is modulating B.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now you have that modulation up. So now if you change A's pitch,
So listen to. There's A by itself, and that's modulating the. If I change A to a sine wave, do the same for B. Lower the pitch of B. So it's kind of really easy to understand how they're modulating there because the waveforms are so simple. You know, going back to a sawtooth here. That's one.
let's go to squares for a second.
Uh-oh, I bumped the joystick. That's gonna happen. Let's see here. Oops.
Oh, we lost B.
Let's see here. Could be a cable problem. No,
Maybe it's a square wave issue or there, something like that.
Turn that down a little bit. Yeah, let's see here. This is just oscillator B by itself. Oops. There we go. Yeah, the square wave on that one isn't working right. Oh, I didn't realize that before. Well, I'll ask Ewan about it. There's its sine wave.
What about A? Does A go into square all right?
That doesn't sound like a square. Oh, because I... Okay, sine wave sounds good. Yeah, listen to that.
Yeah, I guess we'll stick with saws and sines.
Just on B. So B has a problem. Let's check out
If
C.
you go to squares on all. Huh, it's a square thing. Square issue.
Works on A and C. All right, so we'll go back to whatever it was we were doing before we. So there's maybe a problem. B is coming out super soft, and D or C is coming out super soft on the square wave. So I'll see. I'll ask you, and we'll see what's going on.
I mean, should we just go full chaos for a second and get all these?
Let's bring them all.
All right, you take two and I take two.
It's crazy.
Don't move my joystick.
That's kind of that synthy sine wave. Oh, I moved your joystick. Kind of nice phasing going on there.
So I'm taking that.
Yeah. Modulating C with D. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah. Modulating D was.
Modulating D with C. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Now, good luck recreating that.
You can't. I mean, this is all you need in a way. We're not doing it.
Yeah.
You know, you just need some output. So it's like this thing. I could see this thing going in like just being a standalone, like, type of piece. Which he does have like he has made. I think it's called like the recursor machine. I think check out. I believe it's the humancomparator.net to check out the rest of Yoon's stuff. But that also kind of reminded me of like a bit of a Lyra situation where it has some other aspects, but a lot of, I think, FMing each other and stuff like that.
Yeah, I used it with the 267E filter, you know, giving it really harmonically rich content by mixing the outputs into the CSR from Studio H and then into the inputs on one of the inputs on the 267.
Yeah,
which is really cool. It's also really fun to use with the 297. Well, everything's fun to use with the 297. But I don't really see myself using this like a traditional, whatever that is, oscillator sound source. I like it for that Klaus Schultz style of, you know, the 70s special effects that they use synthes for, you know, with really cool FMing of basic partials and then when going really crazy and making a cool drone with the bandpass filters and kind of just modulating those filters to make the sound interesting. So there's a lot of possibilities there.
Yeah.
I mean, we could barely scratch the surface with this thing.
So there's a keyboard input for this. I wonder if it's is it? I'm guessing we're assuming it's like 1.2 volt per octave input on that.
Yes.
And so you can switch. Is it just a two-way switch? Yeah,
Yep.
it is. So you can then have this other, you know, frequency input. If we flip all the black switches up, it will read that in conjunction with whatever you're doing on the with the actual joystick. So we've got like a 251 sequence going.
251E. Quad sequential voltage source.
So maybe we just hear like one.
Ready?
Let's start that, yeah.
Super basic, kind of chromatic-ish sequence there.
So if we add in, so that's just A, we'll add in B. Oh,
So that's
wow,
nice.
crazy.
Wow, you've got him kind of tuned to a fifth.
Yeah. And of course, I'm going to screw that up right now.
Yep.
I'm kind of angling up towards A modulating B. So, but because they've got the same pitch information, if you kind of dial them in relative pitch to another, that's, you know, it's going to sound gnarly, but
It's like 258E kind of.
Yeah.
When I do this kind of thing with the same input to both pitch inputs,
yeah.
the same CV.
Should we now add in C and D?
Yeah, let's bring it in.
Should we try and make it pretty at first? That's cool.
Yeah, now if we take one, we'll take D
Let's
out.
let's switch some. Maybe do some like a couple sine waves on there too. Nope.
Oops. Oops.
Nope.
Oops.
When I say that, Robert just like, let me flip all the switches.
I need to remember which one's red and which one's black.
So it takes a while for that FM to really kind of come in. Like, I felt like there's maybe like a little bit of a grace area. I guess if like your center joystick.
Yeah.
Let me turn this, like just bring it down here. We've got no FM influence. And so then I'm going to go up. I mean, maybe it's slight there.
I hear it a little.
There,
It's
like-
also a sine. Oh, this is a saw wave, yeah. So you're modulating it with
B.
B, which is a sine. Oh, a sawtooth. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So just, it's... I guess I would have thought like, oh, like right when I deviate from this
Yeah.
XY or X path.
Let's see what happens if we go. You're modulating with B and what else? B and C.
Yeah.
So that's what B as a sine wave.
Mm-hmm. Or C with a sine wave.
Yeah, B and C are both sine waves. Yeah. See, I've got the B and C light as a sine wave.
I
Yeah.
wonder if you flip it to square, does it? Yeah, it seems kind of weak on that. So yeah, there's something going on there.
Yeah.
Where if we, let's see.
The square waves for B and C are both jacked. They're both messed up.
Yeah. So what if we
Yeah.
switch? So we've got this now back in square or pulse or whatever. Let's turn up C. Let's have C in.
Oh, that sounds nice.
So now D can modulate this with the square. I just want to hear what the. Yeah, it's not very strong on that compared to if we go to. I mean, there's a lot of
Yeah,
deviation.
a lot of harmonics in there.
Wild. So this is so they're cross modulating each other right now.
Yeah.
That's what C and D, oscillators C and D are cross modulating each other. You're ramping up the sequence.
It's 450 BPM. Doesn't it? Sounds like somebody's saying something, doesn't it? Wait. So this is my new trance single.
There you go. That's neat. So what are you doing on the 250?
I'm just reversing the sequence.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's kind of wild, isn't it? That's just at 300 BPM. So, at that kind of speed, I think it's easier to hear the difference between the oscillators.
Yeah.
Because there's like this rapid change in pitch.
Yeah.
So you hear the FMing much better than using it like a drone. That's kind of interesting. Let's see if I can remember there's a combination of encoders that you press on the 251E to randomize the voltages, and I can't remember.
Mm. Well, we've got a stack of random that we've been holding on to for the past month.
Let me try this real quick. I put in a bunch of random voltages in the 251E, and I'm just going through and adding a trans for the steps, which is a little bit of a laborious process, as we've bemoaned many times, but that's the glory of the preset manager. So we're going to go to that. We'll do a cycle. Okay, so this is just a bunch of hear it kind of leaking in there. Changing the intervals to 16 on the first 8 steps.
This sounded great. It's a lot of higher pitches too, so they don't.
Yeah, but we could scale those with the the CSR if we wanted to.
Cool.
Yeah, I put a lot of pitches in the higher registers here, the higher CV values. Yeah, that's pretty cool. You know, the I like the idea of maybe like even if 4 50-stage sequences in the 251E that aren't, maybe I program in all the CV values, because I'm not really going to try to dial in anything tonal with this. You know, I mean I could, but I don't want to. But having these regular CVs, because the nice thing about doing this even with random versus the 266E is that it's not really random. You have a random seed for the CV values, but they're always going to repeat because it doesn't truly do random voltage the way it does. So, but it would be cool to program in a 50-stage sequence with the 251E into the NVO, the oscillator, and then have that kind of using that to sort of have a weird, interesting under the main sound kind of drone going on, you know? And we haven't gotten into the CV inputs yet.
The specific X and Y.
Yeah, the specific X and Y, which we're about to do with the 264.
Let's do it.
So that'll add some interesting dimension to this as well. So let's get that set up.
Okay, we've been keeping this boat of uncertainty all to ourselves. Yeah. Sorry, Chip. It's going to go out tomorrow, I swear. But yeah, we decided Robert's been messing around with it a bit, and so we're like, hey, why don't we pair it up with this quad sample and hold with another quad oscillator. But first, what we're going to do, so we're going to take a look at all like the individual X and Y inputs for all of the oscillators. So right now we have this patch set up. It's kind of this cascading 281 patch where it's a cycling, like A will, after A's cycle is finished, it triggers B triggers C, D then goes back and triggers A. And so all those are going to go into, let's see, is that the Y-axis for?
That is the, Y. So, we're ready to patch pitch from, or the X-axis from the quad sample and hold in a little bit. So the 281E is going into the Y-axis.
Because
so
we're just going to
FMing.
Yeah, we're just going to show off like the CV for FMing capabilities. So we'll kind of turn these up, and we kind of we tune these up. We're in sine wave mode on all of these. So some have more influence than the other. We're like, but I think it piggybacks on top of where you have the joystick set to.
Like you want me to move the joystick?
Yeah, so you're going to move D's oscillator up. And now it's going to be FM'd right now. Not really anything, because I think you're already up. So try going down to C.
Yeah.
And that's having more influence throughout the rest of it. So try moving, maybe leave that where it's at, maybe take this, we'll take A's oscillator down to...
And the amount of FMing, is it, so on the x-axis, the pitch isn't being changed. So it's the same pitch for the modulation. It's only the modulation amount that's changing.
Yeah.
So if we did...
But interesting too, because, this is like, you have the center mode where it's not going to do any FMing, right? But if you put in CV, it seems to only go up. So does that only, if we're looking at oscillator D, does it only go up to B?
Well, let's see. Let's go, we'll bring up A, which is modulated by C. Okay. So there's A, there's C. But you're only hearing oscillator A. So the first value is FM, goes into the FM input for A, and then the next one you hear is the FM input for C.
I mean, once again, like, hard to put your finger on any of these things. It definitely is a chaos agent.
Yeah, it is. An oscilloscope would be really handy here.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, though. Oh, man.
So you just brought up C.
Yeah. So now you're hearing A and C. A is modulating C. C is modulating D, which you can't hear. And then D is modulating C. Oh, boy.
Let's bring the rest up.
Let's go back to ramps.
Yeah, so we had everything in sine.
Oh, you hear that? Kind of like, reminds me of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre soundtrack. If you've seen the movie, you'll hear it. That's actually pretty cool. I like that.
Should we now add some pitch info?
Yeah, let's. And then we'll move the joysticks around a little bit more.
So I'm plugging the inputs, or plugging the outputs from the 264 in there. So now we got to get a source. Let's see. Can you start that sequence just to, or maybe get a pulse?
Let me turn it way down.
I'm gonna use a very bright fluctuating random as our CV source.
Oh, you're gonna connect them? You bridging cables. You want CV?
A pulse from that one. Or do you have to program the pulses out?
They're in there. Are they too fast?
No, it's not pulsing. You don't have to add a trans or anything?
They got, every step has a trans.
Okay, let's try. maybe these aren't.
Let me give you a real long cable. Does that reach? That give you exactly the right amount of length.
Yeah, it's not doing that.
Yeah, it's pulsing. Here we go. Now this I like.
I'm blocking out the trying to block out the very bright LEDs from the 265. So this is a fluctuating random from 265.
Now that is like sci-fi. I mean, I bet you Augustus and Jacqueline are gonna love that. Oh
Heck
man,
yeah.
Perfect. So I randomly chose joystick positions as as it goes through, and it ended up with something really cool.
And obviously, like, yeah, you kind of have to keep things probably closer to the left.
Yeah, here's what happens when they go to the right. They get,
the pitch goes
inaudible.
Yeah, because you're stacking the CV pitch on top of that.
Only Gen Z can hear those pitches. So if we changed a couple to square waves, does that have any kind of interesting effect? Yeah, makes it some noise in there.
Yeah.
It's all signs.
I mean, we can pull. Let's try pulling out the gray and put like all the FM CV inputs. So then we can just dial that in by hand.
Okay, I'll go back to ramps. Oops.
So yeah, kind of. Messing with joystick positions.
Got 2 squares and 2 signs.
Slowing down the CV rate a little bit, or by quite a bit. Nice.
Hmm.
Oh, you know what? I have the offset. The offset is turned up on this 264 too. So actually,
Oh yeah.
if I go bring that down, then our pitches are. We may have more range on our pitch. I'm just gonna call it knob.
So if we put all of them to the left, then you get a nice low bass pitch and that doesn't get too high.
Yeah.
Wow, that's nuts.
Chaos.
Hmm. I like how it goes mute because it's just almost mute because it's too high pitched. And the sine waves goes nuts.
Yeah, I really like the FM sine wave. Like, classic.
Heinbach would like this
Yeah.
because it sounds like his test equipment, you know, sine waves and stuff.
Well, cool.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. I'm gonna make a 2-hour album of just that.
I mean, yeah, you kind of just have to give in to what it is. It's a total different kind of I don't know, paradigm shift for the Buchla system, where you're coming from these oscillators that have a lot of control, yet this has a lot of control. It's just not in it's just with joysticks. It's
I mean, and admittedly for the show, we're kind of ham-fisted with this. We're like just practically slapping the joysticks all over the place.
yeah. Like I know Todd has had this for a bit, and I'm eager to go back and kind of listen to his or watch his videos now that I've seen this in person. And yeah, I'd like to see like kind of what, after having this for a while, if you come up with any kind of
there are a few other
use it
modules
for.
I kind of wish I still had to use with this, like the Wrangler, that crazy filter circuit. I think that would have been really neat with its kind of neat
The Benjamin.
analog shift. Yeah, the Benjamin, the analog shift register type thing for the filter, especially with the 264, because that really brings it to life. With the, I think with the quad trans event generator, the 282E from Keen, I could make some really specific functions, trans events over a long period to slowly affect the FM.
Yeah.
But I think I would need to do a little bit of control voltage processing with the 257 or 256 to get kind of what I'm looking for. The funny thing is we've been playing with this for a couple of hours and I still don't really understand the extent of how the FM inputs are working. I need to see it on an oscilloscope or something because
because it's
clear.
weird that you have that zero null point in the middle, and you go down to add FM from one source and up to add FM from another. So how does just a single CV input do that? Like if there was attenuverters alongside the CV inputs to then be like, well, I would do negative voltage, and so that would drive it down to like on like say oscillator A, then it would be FM'd by C, or if I turn the attenuator up, it would go upwards to B.
Exactly, yeah.
But yeah, kind of.
It's the little gray inputs just say, I'm leaning way in on them. Yeah, they just say A, Y, B, Y, C, Y, and D, Y.
And then the directions for, upper. Up, they just show upper to the right, but we kind of don't know where that bottom voltage sits, or that.
Well, all of the Y's are up, so that explains it.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're going to start at wherever the FM is, and then go up the Y-axis. I mean, they're going to go wherever the joystick position is and go up the Y-axis. So it'll never go
Where
below.
it is, yeah.
If it's a 0, 0, it will never go to 0 minus 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if it's 0 minus 10, and however the voltage works, if it goes up 10 volts, I guess it would be to 0, 0.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yoon, let us know.
Yeah, someone let us know. I'm willing. I mean, there's no. I don't think there's a manual for this. There's one video from Ewan about it, and then Todd did a great video where he makes it sing. But like anything else that's really wild, it just you have to really explore it.
And we're attacking this with like all oscillators on full on.
Yeah.
Like if we just started with one and then figuring out its C or FM relationship with the two other oscillators and really kind of slowing down and dialing those things in, I think we could get a lot out of that too. But maybe that's for another time.
Yeah, we'll play around with it more, and then when you get the 288R over here, we'll combine two of the craziest modules between us. I think those are right now the
all that and delayed.
Yeah, all that delayed. Unfortunately, we won't have the boat of uncertainty anymore. That 264 is just the quad sample and hold. Like I don't know. I love that thing.
It's cool.
Yeah, I need to see if maybe I can find a Eurorack module that does some of that.
Well, I think it'll be out some point.
Yeah, until it comes out.
Yeah.
And I've got to find a space for it.
Okay.
So yeah, maybe I'll sell my. I don't know. I don't need a 281E. I guess.
Who needs that old thing?
Quad sim. Yeah. Yeah, that's such a great module. So I'll keep my eye out for that one. The polyphonic adapter. Yeah, so if you haven't listened to last month's show when we talked about the 264, you should give that a listen because it's a great module. The whole boat of uncertainty from MEMS is great, so we've done a lot of fun stuff with it. We got to get one of these. We'll split it. We'll share custody.
Yeah. Get visitation rights.
Cool. Yeah, so this Nested Vector Oscillator, really interesting. Beautiful panel, nicely built. I would need to get my square wave issue fixed, but I'm sure that's no problem.
Yeah, I'm hoping to. He had a lot of other stuff, and yeah, if you go to his website, it kind of shows sketches of things that he's been working on, and he's got a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah,
I
he's
hope
a
see
really
the
talented guy.
daylight.
Yeah, can't wait to
The
see
light of
what's
day.
next.
Daylight.
Sylvester
There you
Stallone
go.
movie.
All right, I think I think that we better go before this heat wave.
Yeah, it's just at 93 outside, which is blazing for here.
Not as bad inside. So
yeah, even with all this hot air, you and I have been blowing out this whole episode. All right, well, I think that's it for the Nested Vector Oscillator. Thanks for coming over and checking it out.
thanks for having me.